Alright folks, welcome back to another edition of Who's Your Boy Trades. Definitely a rough day again in the stock market, some choppy trading action. Definitely boring if you want to call it that, not much to trade on day trades. Looking ahead to CPI, kind of figured this would happen going into it, kind of how it is before data releases every single time. However, we do have to look forward to that FOMC days and CPI days have been the worst days of the year so far. So will that change tomorrow, or will we see lower on the indexes and all of our famous equity stocks that we love? Let's dig into it right here on the charts. Looking at SPX, we closed today at 35.77, so we are under that support once again. Next support we're looking for, if CPI comes in bad, is down at 35.36. That's from 14th of October 2020. And then we can see these pre-COVID highs down at 33.95. So that's a reality that we could see that tomorrow if we get hot numbers on CPI. So I'm definitely going to be watching those levels. We'll see though, because obviously the news drops at 8:30. So most of this move will most likely happen before the market opens. So I'll be out bright and early to kind of see the reaction, see what kind of numbers we get. And then we got the big bank earnings on Friday, along with several other earnings coming in next week. Looking at our earnings for next week, let's see. Monday we got Bank of America. So we have 5 really big banks on Friday, and then we got Bank of America and Charles Schwab on Monday of next week. We got J&J on Tuesday, Netflix on Tuesday, Goldman Sachs on Tuesday, JB Hunt. Some people like to trade that one. That's kind of all for Tuesday. What do we got? Wednesday, obviously Tesla's huge. Procter & Gamble's huge. Abbott Labs will be a big one. IBM. Prologis. I like this stock here. They rent a lot of warehouses out to Amazon and other companies that do similar distribution. LRCX. That'll be a big one to watch. Las Vegas Sands. I think they could actually report well too. I'll be watching that one for sure. And a bunch of small companies as well. There's a ton reporting next week. And on Thursday of next week, we got Philip Morris, L'Oreal, AT&T. I think that's about it. Oh, Atlassian, ticker TEAM team. That'll be one to watch. FCX, Freeport McMoran. Good commodity trade on steel there. Alright, I wanted to talk about another stock that I've talked about in previous videos, Cameco, CCJ, down 13.63% today. So they agreed, along with Brookfield Renewable Partners, BEP, which only lost 3.03% today. They're acquiring Westinghouse Electric, and they did a share offering in order to fund the deal. So they're going to form a strategic partnership to acquire Westinghouse, the nuclear services business. Brookfield Renewable, along with its institutional partners, will own a 51% interest in Westinghouse, and uranium miner Cameco will own 49%. So I think this kind of just shocked investors a little bit that are, investing in CCJ. They were kind of playing it more as a commodity trade, towards the nuclear, side of the stock. This kind of branches them out and gets them more into a little bit more of an in-depth business. However, the total enterprise value for Westinghouse is nearly $7.9 billion, so almost $8 billion, which they're acquiring. That includes about $4.5 billion in equity and the rest in debt. So actually, long term, I love this deal. The offering of 29.6 million shares was at $21.95, so it was kind of, it was normal to go test that level. We did actually close above that level today, around $22.30, I believe it was when it closed. But long term, I still love this company. They're increasing their revenue. They have a shot at, like an additional $4 billion in revenue from this deal. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not recommending to buy it. But this is definitely one that I like personally, and I will hold on to. And I actually added to today, as far as equity. Options definitely got smashed today. If you were in options, I had some leaps on it, so those kind of got hit pretty hard, but actually I'm going to hang on to those because I still have, over a year till expiration. So I'm not too concerned about those quite yet. I think we can actually run this stock back up. I think it'll catch some interest, especially, I like this deal. It definitely increases the company's balance sheet over time. Just the share dilution is what kind of hurt it today and kind of has investors confused. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll wait a few days, see where the stock starts to build value again, and if it can continue its uptrend throughout the rest of the year. So definitely one I'll be watching. Yeah, so CCJ was one of my uranium plays. I also talked about UEC, which is another uranium play in the nuclear reactor industry. Actually, I believe UEC is still more of a commodity play, though. We're focusing more on just the uranium side of things rather than, now the CCJ. I kind of spoke about it a little bit earlier. They're branching out into the nuclear reactor and actually going to operate a lot more extensive businesses in the field versus just, mining uranium. So if you want a pure uranium play, UEC is still probably the one to stick with. It did pull back as well today, down to, it looks like it closed at 366. This is one, like I said, I've been scooping it at 325 for a trade, just playing this range here. But eventually I do think this stock can break out as well too and get over $5 again, so I will be holding some of this long term, and I'll continue to add around 325 if it keeps giving it to us, so we'll see what happens in the coming days on that one. Alright, I also want to look at Netflix. This has been an interesting one. It's been awfully volatile lately. But you can see, over the course of October, end of September into October, we had 3 failed breakout attempts over 245. We sold it back off into that 230 range. It bounced for a little bit and then sold off. Now you can see we're bouncing again. We kind of finished the day green actually. But I still like this for lower, especially if CPI comes in hot tomorrow. I think this could be a great short if we lose this volume shelf here. We could drop this thing all the way back down to as low as, 207 would be my first target. And then we're looking at, we can take it all the way back to 200 potentially. So this will be on my radar still. I've already shorted a couple times for day trades. I'll definitely have my eyes on this one. See if it can break lower. But today, it's making lower lows. The balances keep getting, lower and lower. So we'll see. We'll see if it's tried to recover today. Close back over 220. So it's definitely on the watch list. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but we'll see. It looks pretty good for continued downside, though, in my opinion, at this point. Unless we get good CPI numbers, then everything will rally. But I'm definitely not expecting that. I don't know what to expect, to be honest. The market is kind of, even with the bad PPI numbers this morning, the market kind of held itself. Like, it's already expecting a lot of this bad news. So we're already kind of in a tough spot for it to break any lower at this point, in my opinion. That's why I've been trying to, at least pick up equity, go long on equity. Picking up a few options, just leaps at this point. I don't want to start, looking for a ton of upside yet until we actually, break out of the balance. It's kind of been just so choppy. You can look at SPX on a shorter time frame chart too, and it's going lower, but it's not going a lot lower. It's not getting the big moves like this, like we were seeing previously, or any of this. These big waterfall moves on the downside. It's just been kind of chopping around, coming up. When we hit that, that Monday and Tuesday of last week, where we, got up to almost 38. Well, we did. We hit 3,800, rejected, sold off, and it's just been chop ever since. Chop, chop, chop. So I'm definitely ready for that part to be over and start making some moves again. The VIX has remained elevated. Let's see where the VIX ended up today. I know every time we hit 34, it seems to give you a little bit of upside. It doesn't want to get over 34 and hold yet. Here's a failed breakout over 34. And then we're right close to 34 again, but it's not wanting to give us anything over 34. You can see that's just been the top all through, since May. 34. A lot of people want to see this thing go to 40 before we can call a bottom. There's always potential it could go a lot higher. So, VIX can get pretty volatile. But yeah, over the last year even, you can see, we're near the top of where VIX pretty much turns it around every time. So we'll see. The market's oversold. VIX is awfully hot, over 33 still. 33.58 is what it closed at. So it's gonna be interesting the next few days, in the next week for sure. I'm really hoping that we can see an end of year rally still, but I don't want to be too confident in that until I actually get a little bit of upside action that we can start balancing again, getting back over 3650, 3700, and I'll start feeling more confident about a little upside. We're gonna have to get some good news though, because if we do get a hot CPI report and then earnings start coming in under estimates, or expectations of earnings of next quarter starts coming in bad, which I definitely can see that happening too, we can see a lot lower in the market, unfortunately. So it's something to pay attention to in these coming weeks. The next few days will be extremely important though. And then we can kind of settle down until we start seeing, the earnings from the big tech companies, which will be very important this quarter. We're seeing more and more layoffs. We're seeing more and more earnings estimates cut. That's what we've seen with the semiconductors, Nvidia, AMD. Talked about those previously in my videos. They have just, continued to head down lower. Although it has, the downside has slowed down, as you can see, after a couple waterfall dumps, over the last 3 months. But it's just been a straight downtrend ever since November 21. The top of the market here, just downtrend. Pop, down, down, down. Ugly. Ugly, ugly, ugly if you're a shareholder. But sometimes, like I said, this can be an opportunity as well. I do not believe these companies are going to go anywhere. I think they're here for the long term, and I think they're offering some great opportunities to buy in. If you're looking especially at 5 to 10 year time horizon. Let's see what we're looking at for AMD as far as more continued downside. I'm still on Nvidia. I'm sorry about that. Nvidia, let's see. This thing could go a lot lower though. There's not a lot of business to be done down here, as you can see on the volume profile. There's not been a lot of business done in this area. It was a constant uptrend in 2020. So really, I hate to say it, but we could see Nvidia all the way down to 80 before this is over. I'm not saying that's going to happen in the next couple weeks, but by the time this bear market is over, that might be the spot to start really getting long, is 80 bucks. Next target down is right around that 105 to 106 area, right in here. Yeah, let's see, top of that is about 107.75 down to about 99. So that'll be a good little area to start looking. You can see it on the volume profile here too, right around 105 area. As right now we're in the middle of volume gap. So we're going to look for it to catch at 105. If it doesn't catch there, it's on down to the next one. And let's see, look at AMD. Like I said, I still want to be a buyer of AMD at 50 bucks if we gave it to us. It's managed to kind of slow down its downtrend too the last couple days. It's been holding over 57. And that's because you can see AMD does have a lot of volume right here. A lot of business being done at this area. People definitely stepping in trying to save it. But obviously the next target is down here at 49.03. So roughly 49 bucks. That's kind of the spot that I want to be a buyer at. I've already started adding a little bit here, but obviously dollar cost averaging in, you want to pick it up at these low prices. Obviously it has the same ugly downtrend since November of last year. And it's just hard to tell where it's going to stop at this point, but I still believe in the company. So like I said, I want to long-term invest at these prices. All right, and the last stock I want to talk about is Amazon, simply because this thing has held support, above just barely at 112. I mean, the real support's like really right around 111, but it's held above 112. We've had some daily indecision candles. You see these last two. Just showing total indecision, whether it wants to go higher or it wants to continue lower. So I'll definitely be watching this one too into tomorrow. Obviously with the big CPI release. This is one that I think if we get good numbers, it can rally fast. If we get bad numbers, we can send it back to 102 pretty quick. That's the big support. That's where I picked it up last time. Obviously I sold a lot of it when we rallied back on earnings and everything, gapped up, filled the gap from back here. This was like the perfect setup too, because all right, so after earnings we filled this gap to the upside, got it all the way up to 146.50, and then clearly, I mean, I think I got short around 143 on this. It was just perfect, and obviously we filled this gap to the downside, and I've been out of it for a while. I got out of it once we filled that gap, but it continued down even lower. So definitely one that I don't mind the hindsight, because obviously I made some good money on this short, filling that gap to the downside. But I definitely got my eyes on it again at this level. Like I said, if we get bad news, I want to short it back down to the 102 support. If we get good news, I want to start looking for upside on Amazon again. We're below all the moving averages here. You can see they're all curling down again and just not looking good. If we do get bullish on it, we want to see these moving averages start to curl back up and see if we can start a new uptrend. But right now, everything just looks terribly bearish, and until something changes, that's the way it is, unfortunately. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. It's going to be a very interesting day. I'll be sure to get a video out after the CPI release, talking about what happened, obviously after tomorrow, because I think we're going to get a big reaction one way or another. We're going to finally break out of this bounce, which one way or another, either down or up. So I'll be looking to play that after the open tomorrow. Once that bell rings, I'll be looking to see what we can do with the action tomorrow, and I'll get some live. I might even live stream tomorrow, live from Bullprint. We'll be in the Discord on Bullprint. I might get a live stream going, so check that out. All right, folks. Once again, thanks for watching Who's Your Boy Trades. Be sure to smash that like button and subscribe button. Lots more videos coming out. I'm just getting started here. Once again, check us out on the Discord, Bullprint. I'll leave the link in the description of this video. Great analysts, great community, great option plays every day. At least 3 or 4 charting sessions every week too. So you get the education, you get the community, and you get to make some money with us. So check us out. You get that free week trial, so if you don't like it, you can always leave after a week without paying anything. Once again, don't forget, subscribe to the channel. I love y'all. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching.